Hi, y'all. This is Carrie D. Welcome to the Coffee with Carrie Homeschool podcast. Join me every Thursday for some much-needed encouragement, coffee, and conversation. It's my prayer that this podcast will help you homeschool one step at a time, one day at a time, and one cup of coffee at a time. Hey, if you're blessed each week by our podcast, make sure you check out my book, Just Breathe and Take a Sip of Coffee, Homeschool in Step with God. Then share our podcast with some of your homeschooling friends who might need a little encouragement this week. You can also find me at my website, coffeewithcarrie.org. So stick around, pour yourself a cup of coffee, put your feet up, and take a little coffee break with me. Let's get started. Hey, Ventura, California, I'm coming to you. The beach is calling me. I'm going to be in Ventura, California on Saturday, October 15th. If you live in the Ventura County or you and your friends are in driving distance, join me for an all-day seminar, Just Breathe and Simplify Your Homeschooling. Now, during the morning session, I'm going to be sharing 8 simple strategies that you can apply immediately to help you remove the chaos from your life and to simplify your home and your homeschooling while still focusing on what's truly important and having fun. The afternoon session is going to focus on how to use a less is more curriculum. I'm going to be sharing how to teach almost every subject, including math, in a simple and inexpensive way that educates the whole child using a Christ-centered, literature-based, interest-led family-style approach. Then I always end with an open Q&A session. So if you would like more information or you would like to register, go to my website, coffeewithcarrie.org. If you would like for me to visit your area and host a Just Breathe and Simplify Your Homeschooling seminar, shoot me an email at coffeewithcarrie.org and let's get it organized. Hi, y'all, and welcome back. So I really think you're going to like this week's episode because I'm focusing on a question that I hear all the time. I have asked this question hundreds of times myself. Am I doing enough? And are my kids doing enough? You know, when kids come home to homeschool, moms are always surprised at how much time they have on their hands. And what I mean by this is that moms are thrown off by how much schoolwork can actually get done in just a few hours a day. Students can do all of their work in less than half the time than when they were in school. And the moms realize that just how much time their kids were wasting in school. And this extra time is one of the many blessings and one of the many gifts of homeschooling. So moms, let me answer the question. Don't worry. You are doing enough. I did enough. And your kids are doing enough. God created your children to be learning and eating machines. If your kids have opportunities throughout the day to learn, then they're gonna learn. So embrace the extra free time with loving and accepting arms. And the challenge, though, is not to fill up all of their free time. I know, that sounds kind of weird, but actually our kids don't have to be engaged in structured learning and structured play and organized sports during all of their free time. They don't need it, and actually, they're quite better off with limited structure play and organized sports. So let me talk about it. So with all of this extra free time, you will always hear another statement, and you will hear it quite a lot. I know I did. Your kids are going to come to you with, "Mom, I'm bored." And when they do, just smile, because you know that boredom is a gift. You may not see it this way at first, and your kids will definitely not see it this way in the beginning, but it's true. Boredom is a gift. Boredom breeds creativity. It's necessary to let kids get bored once in a while. That's how they learn to be creative. Great boredom produces much productivity. When boredom strikes, creativity usually takes over. It's a good thing when your kids come to you whining, "Mom, I'm bored." Don't try and fix it. Let them wallow in it for a while and then watch what happens. Now, if they're used to appeasing their boredom with screen time, then some detox might need to take place first. Now, in 2021, statistics showed that children ages 8 to 12 in the United States, are you ready for this? Spent 4 to 6 hours a day on average watching or using screens, and teens spent up on average 9 hours a day. Now, guys, that's the average, which means there are outliers out there that spent even more time than this on their screens. And this 4 to 6 hours in the statistics that's reported is time spent on screens for entertainment purposes. This doesn't even take into account the screen time for education purposes. Over a year, this average can add up to over 115 full days of watching a screen for fun. So if your child or teen is used to occupying his time and feeding his boredom with YouTube and TV shows and social media and things like TikTok and video games, then you will need to help them learn how to jumpstart their creative juices again. Now, one of my favorite books, and I've mentioned it before, is by Richard Louv. It's called The Last Child in the Woods, Saving Our Children from Nature Deficit Disorder. Now, in this book, he discusses the benefits of, being in nature. But he also talks a lot about the importance of getting back to the carefree days of childhood and allowing our kids to have hours and hours of unstructured playtime. Yes, he suggests most of that playtime take place outdoors, but nonetheless, he spends a lot of time talking about the importance of bringing back unstructured playtime. Now, there are benefits to being bored. I know, it sounds funny, but let me share some of them. First, boredom allows for wholesome and natural child development. So in his book, Richard Louv, he states, the physical exercise and emotional stretching that children enjoy in organized play is more varied and less time-bound than what is found in organized sports. Playtime, especially unstructured, imaginative, exploratory play, is increasingly recognized as an essential component of wholesome child development. Now, I'm not bashing organized sports and activities. We participated in a lot of them when my kids were growing up. I just agree with this statement that as parents, it's not our job to fill up our kids' social calendar with non-stop organized sports and activities. Not only does this create stress trying to juggle everyone's schedule, but it stresses families out when they're going from one thing to the next. If given enough time to just play, kids will figure out how to occupy their time, and usually they'll figure it out in a very constructive, creative, and imaginative way. Now, when kids are bored, they also learn how to entertain themselves without the use of screens. When forced to find something to do, children will learn how to occupy their time. Another benefit or another gift is that boredom also makes children and teens more productive. Now they have time to do the things they were supposed to do, or now they have time to finally do the things they want to do. They have time to explore and to dig deeper into things they're interested in and into things that they're good at, or to do things that they want to spend time doing. Also, fewer distractions allows more time for imagination, for thinking, and for problem solving. Boredom really does breed creativity. When the busyness of the world comes to a standstill and the noise of the world is muted for a while, it allows precious, quiet space. It opens a child's eyes to the beauty that's been around him the entire time, but was just too busy to notice. Your son notices the crack in the pavement and the little creatures crawling in it. He notices the book or the puzzle on the shelf or on the table or on the floor that's been there patiently waiting for him to pick it up and to explore it. Boredom is the main reason that I love to